Today and in the wood yard, Bo's here again. We're gonna chuck some wood. It's what, 20 below zero with the wind chill.
I don't know, can't feel a thing.
Can't either. It's ridiculous. We're not gonna do a whole lot today, but we got an order to do, so we're gonna start chucking right now. Here we go. So yesterday I said it was the coldest day of the year. I lied. It's today. Today is the day. Yeah, I know. This order is for just mixed stuff, so we're gonna throw a little bit of everything in again here. We've got some ash and aspen, and there's some maple we're gonna throw in. Maybe a little bit of cherry. We're just gonna throw everything in. Everything but the kitchen sink. But if we find that, we'll put that in too. So yeah, this morning I got up, it was 10 below.
Yeah, it said 20 for the wind chill.
Yeah.
When I was up this morning.
Yeah, 20 below is cold.
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna get much cold. And then tomorrow will be nice and warm, maybe like 25.
Yeah, the next couple days is supposed to be in the upper 20s to 30 degrees, so beautiful weather coming up.
And then maybe some snow at the end of the week too.
Yeah, don't say that. We're gonna go to a new spot. Don't want to over harvest in one spot, you know. Yeah, the guy for this delivery called me this morning. He says, Chris, it's cold today. I said, yeah, I know. He says, are you still bringing the wood? I said, well, yeah, I said I was. He says, I mean, you're going outside when it's this cold? I said, yeah. I said, I work outside every day. He says, well, you don't have to. I said, well, I got to get it done. Oh, look at here. I found another. Ooh, two of them. Look at this. Prize.
Are those the eaters?
These are the hornets.
I saw a couple when we were doing wood the other day.
Yeah, I find them all the time. And these are all bred. So they've got eggs inside because they breed towards the end of the year. And then these new queens will go out and make a nest. So whenever I find them, I crunch them. I just take them to the camera and show everybody. There they are. It's crunching time again. We're gonna crunch them. There we go. There's one. This is, I consider this victory. When the snow sounds like this,
it's crunchy.
You can tell it is crunchy.
Yeah, give me that.
It's actually not as windy as I thought it was going to be. It's not as bad as yesterday.
It said there was going to be wind advisories until like 12 p.m., but it hasn't really been anything too bad.
No, it's still windy, but
it when I'm driving because it pushes my truck around, but
it's not as windy as it was yesterday, actually. This isn't terrible.
It's pretty still. You know, you get those cold days because there's no clouds, but when the sun's out, it does just that.
Oh, yeah. So we may actually do some cutting today.
Wouldn't be too bad.
Seeing as it's warming up so dang much. I heard the high today was supposed to be like 5.
Yeah, it's like 4. Yeah, Dad said the high got to like 2 yesterday for them.
Yeah.
Which I doubt it even got up to 2.
Yeah. Yeah, this cold weather, the good thing about it is I get lots of people that order wood. The phone really starts ringing, especially if it's like on a Friday or a Saturday and it's super cold because people are home. They're like, hey, let's make a fire. And then they go out and like, hey, we only got 4 pieces left. And so they call, hey, can you bring wood today? I had a guy yesterday that called me from the town to the south you're from. And he says, yeah, this is Joe. Can you bring me some more wood like you did last time? I said, okay. Like, which Joe? What did I bring last time? I didn't, you know, he didn't give me any information. I think this is going to be enough cherry because I don't want to give too much cherry. I think it's going to be plenty. Let's pull ahead. So I'm going to pull over and we're going to go over there. So there's the load. It is on. It is 2 face cords. We got oak, we got maple, we got cherry, we got basswood, we've got aspen. It's in there. We're going to deliver it right now. Okay, so we're pulling out with the load right now, and it's 2 face cords. This is a repeat customer. He called me this morning and said, you really don't need to, you don't have to bring it today. He said, it's cold out. I said, yeah, but I work outside every day. We'll be fine. So I just looked at the phone and it's 7 below, it said. My truck says 6 below, and the wind chill is 25 below. So it's cold, but we're going to work outside for a little while when we get back. We're going to do some cutting and some chucking, but we're not going to work till our fingers fall off.
Yeah, that's why I'm here today.
You want to lose a few fingers?
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is the kind of day that when I deliver to people, they're always surprised that I show up. They're like, geez, I didn't think you'd come. It's cold out. Like, well, yeah, you ordered wood. You got it scheduled. I'm going to come. And loading wood is no big deal because you chuck it in and you get to sit in the truck for a while and be warm, and then you get there, you unload it, you sit in the truck again. So this is the part that I don't mind doing. It's cutting that's the part that gets cold because you get sweated up. But
as soon as you stop.
As soon as you stop, yeah, you don't want to stop. You want to keep going. And a lot of times, I've mentioned this before too, when I get cutting and I get all sweaty, I'll cut for like 3 tanks worth of fuel and chainsaws. I take them inside to sharpen, and I strip right down, and I change my long underwear and my t-shirt and my first layer, base layer basically, because a lot of times it'll be soaking wet, and I'll change it out, put dry stuff on, then I go back out and cut again. Because if you go back out wet, you get the chills and you can't get warm and it's just miserable.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. Doing snow removal is a lot like that too.
Yeah,
You're just throwing snow at yourself a lot of the time when the wind pushes it back on you.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, and then you get a nice warm truck and then all your gloves are wet. So you probably I'd bring about 4 pairs of gloves and I'd go through all of them in like a 6-hour period.
Well, for me, what's the worst is when you get a thawing day and you're picking up snow that's thawing and you get that, packing snowball kind of snow. Because the leather gloves, which are the best ones to wear for wood, I wear these like this, they suck up moisture fast and they get soaking wet, as you know. And so I'll go through a lot of times 3 pairs, but when I'm splitting wood, what's really nice on those days like that is I'll take my first pair off and I set it up on the cylinder of the ram and it's hot, and within 15-20 minutes they're pretty much dry. So that works pretty good to dry your gloves out. But a lot of days, like you said, I'll go through 3-4 pair of gloves on days when it's really bad. But on these cold days, what I've noticed, I don't know if this is going to be the case for this guy, I don't know this guy, but yesterday it was cold. Every single person I delivered wood to, I either got a $10 or $20 tip, every single one of them. And I did 2 deliveries and then 2 pickups, but I got tips on all of them where people gave me money, extra money. So I think yesterday alone in tips I made like an extra 50-60 bucks. So it's pretty sweet. Yeah, it's kind of nice. You don't have to go over here and dance or anything.
All right, thank you.
Are you not a good dancer? No. Yeah, I was told by my kids a long time ago, don't do that. Don't dance, don't sing, just sit there.
Don't sing.
Yeah, that too. No, I charged the battery up last night. I had it on overnight because yesterday it was getting really slow. So we should be good. Still not too quick with a fresh battery even. They all jump out? Yep. That's good. Yeah, this is like half speed. And it's a fully charged battery. The hydraulic fluid is probably like, tar. Wow, look how slow this is. So it's mostly oak. I think we put almost a face coat of oak in. Okay. And there's a bunch of maple, there's some cherry in there, so it's just a little bit of everything, but
okay. Sounds good, yeah.
it'll all burn.
What I got was really nice.
Oh, good. So now,
the last 2 I got from you were nice.
So now, do you burn in a fireplace? Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, this stuff is excellent for fireplace. Nice size too, so.
That's what I like about it. Sometimes when I ordered that stuff, I get in big chunks and you can't throw it in there.
When I first started doing firewood, like 8 years ago, I was selling it.
Yeah.
I did it the way I did for myself.
Yeah.
Which was for heating.
Yeah.
And I'd have pieces you got to use 2 hands.
Yeah.
And I had quite a few people saying, do you have any smaller stuff for a fireplace? And I started listening to people. I'm like, maybe I should start getting smaller stuff. And now I kind of split everything down so that anybody, even a child, can pick it up with one hand.
Yeah.
Because most of the people that make the fires in the house, it's the wife.
Yeah. Well, not this one.
That's your domain, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you
There
much.
go, sir. No, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, we burned our last little bit last night, so you're...
Oh, perfect timing. Yeah. Well, I saved your life then, probably.
Probably. Coldest day.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Bob. So we're pulling away from our delivery at Bob's place there. I've been there, I think, this is my third time. I usually go once a year. I think this is the third year I've been there. They burn in a fireplace, and you notice at the end there, and sometimes I do it right in the beginning, I talk to people. And the most important thing is just ask them questions. I ask, you know, how much do they burn a year? What kind of wood do they usually get? How often do they have fires? What's their favorite kind of wood? You know, how much they go through in a year, that kind of stuff. I just try to ask those questions and do a little small talk and chit chat, talk about the weather, because people appreciate that. They really like it. I think that's a big thing that a lot of people don't realize, is that the relationship part of it is more important a lot of times than the product even. I mean, product matters, but if you get to know people and get to be their friend, you build that trust, and you don't want to lose it, you know, by obviously doing something stupid like delivering poor product. I mean, you want to have really good product, but I always talk to them about, you know, whatever's going on. If I find out any personal information, I ask them about, you know, grandkids or kids or their dog. If they got dogs, make sure you pet the dogs, talk to the dogs, you know, do all that kind of stuff. And if there's kids there, if there's a little, like one time I went there, his grandkids were there, and I had one of his grandkids push the button to unload it and then coming back down. So the kids think that is just cool. It makes their day. I do that a lot when I go to deliveries. If there's little kids there, I let them push the button to dump the trailer. So that's kind of important to make sure that the people are paid attention to.
Seen. Everybody wants to be seen.
And everybody wants to tell their story about whatever it is, whether it's their house or their firewood or their camping. I know, because he takes some of the wood when they go camping too. So. So talk to people. I think
they're people too.
Yes, yeah. Well, they're the people handing you the money, so
yeah,
make sure you keep them happy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we brought the saws out. I'm gonna fill them up, and like I've mentioned before, I always sharpen them all. So I got 3 saws, and that way the saws get a break. I'm not just running one saw the whole time, which makes your saws last longer. So that's kind of a good thing. And that way when they're dull, then I sharpen all 3 of them, or if I have 4 saws I'm running, I sharpen all 4 of them. But 3 is a good number, I find. And I've done this a lot of times too, is that I shouldn't say always, but I try to always put the oil in first, the bar oil, because I'd rather run out of gas than bar oil. Holy smokes, that's coming out like tar. It's thick. Yeah, it's really thick. And I get asked all the time also, do I run different types of oil as far as my bar oil, as far as summer weight and winter weight? And I have in the past, because I had it, but I don't really think it matters. Yeah, this is like thick snot. I don't know, I use whatever I've got. And this stuff was on sale. It's the Mystic brand. I've used the tall timber. I've used the Husqvarna stuff. I've never used the steel stuff because I think it makes your saw cut crooked. That's a joke, by the way. But yeah, this stuff is, man, you can tell it's cold. And this is from a jug that I had outside.
Oh,
I didn't take that one that we had inside because this one was already open. But yeah, it's coming out.
Well, at least you won't overfill.
Well, I can overfill pretty easy just about anything. Whenever you overfill, all you're doing really is just returning it to where it came from. It just runs down into the earth, because that's where the oil came from. So it's not like you're contaminating anything. It came from the earth. That's just a nice way of saying, man, my hands are getting cold fast here. Wow, this is slow. So yeah, I fill the oil first, and then I fill the gas. And look at how slow that stuff's coming out. Come on, fill already. Here we go. It's like caramel that's at room temperature. Okay, so there. Oil's in. And I'm going to put some some gas in. This is, I'm gonna put this one on the ground because I spilled a little bit here. But when it runs down the side, the bar oil runs down onto the bar, it's no big deal because that's where it's gonna end up anyway. Wow. I'm kind of looking forward to cutting. I'll get warm.
Yeah.
Are you warm enough? Not really.
I'm going down.
Don't worry, I get cutting. You can start chucking. I'll cut fast and you can chuck. And, you know, if you can get it stacked up, even like in rows along, so it's right by the splitter there, that'll help us for when we're splitting. It'll be close by. And I had a guy make a comment just the other day. He was talking about how he's forgot to put his caps on after filling and then picked up the saw and then dumped gas or oil all over on his leg. I've done that. Also, same guy mentioned that he has put the wrong fluid in the wrong hole. I've done that. So the one time, I did it once, I dumped oil into the gas and I panicked thinking, oh no, that's terrible. I just dumped it out and put some more gas in, sloshed it around, dumped it out again, and it was fine. It was no big deal. Yeah, it didn't hurt anything. It's just, obviously you don't want to leave it in there.
So yeah, lesson of the story is don't run a YouTube channel, just pay attention to what you're doing.
Exactly, so, woo! So now the next thing I do, and I do this kind of as a routine, I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. The next thing I do is I put my earplugs in, because I wear plugs, and I wear the helmet with the muffs, because I'm already going deaf, and I want to save my hearing as much as I can. So I put my earplugs in next, and then the next thing I do is I start up a saw right away. Now these were inside, 60-degree temperature, so the first one starts pretty good. Those will be sitting out in the cold. So I do that so that the saw can warm up now while I put my chaps on. That's what I'll do next. When I put my chaps on, I buckle it in the front. It took me a while to figure this out, but I buckle it in the front and then I spin it around my waist like this. Sort of. You know what works better though? If I put them on the right direction. Had them on backwards. I'm like a 4-year-old just learning how to dress myself. It's nice to do this when it's cold out too. So, speaking of the cold, both of us have our beaver hats on. Why don't you show yourself? He's got a blacker one there so you can see our hats, how they're different. Let's turn it into the sun so they can see the true colors. That's okay. So we have our beaver hats on. Warmest hat on the planet by far.
Absolutely.
And like I mentioned before, Kenny and I are going to be making them and selling them. So if you guys are interested, we'll let you know the details coming up. But they are super warm. Too warm to work in. So like I said, I put my chaps on. And then the next thing I do is I put my helmet on and then I kind of rub the saw up a little bit, warm it up, and then we'll get cut. So we got a wall here starting with the logs. They're starting to be pretty vertical. That's where it gets dangerous. So I went and I got my hook and I'm going to push some of them down. And I showed this before. This is the woodchuck. It's got a stand, so you roll the logs, they sit on top, but it's also got a point they can take off. So I'm going to stick that over here and I'm going to roll some logs down.
You got your mic?
What?
You got your mic?
It's got a built-in mic, so I'm just going to yell.
All right.
So a lot of times I just use the point. I think this one right here is probably holding almost everything. You know what? I hardly even touched it. It doesn't take much. And then this one right here, I can tell is kind of... So I was pushing logs down, the battery died, so we're gonna push some more down because there's still a lot up here and I don't want to die today. I don't want to break an arm today or a leg because that's the kind of stuff that can happen. And these aren't even big logs. These are, once they hit you, they don't really hurt, but when a whole bunch comes, you don't want to be standing there. So we're gonna push down a couple more from up top here. See, these are up, see how high these are? I mean, with me standing here, these are pretty darn high. So I'm gonna get these are a couple pushes. And then once they get down here, a lot of times they just roll up like this. And you gotta watch up above that something doesn't come down and smack you. Like this one looks like it wants to. And this is nice size stuff to work with because it's just comfortable. See, now we're starting to get a pretty good angle. That stuff up there is still kind of sketchy looking, so we're gonna give a couple of these a shove. That one doesn't want to move. There we go. How are we doing now? That's not too bad. Usually I just go side to side. You got that one hanging out there kind of crooked. This one right here is causing problems. So yeah, when John stacked this, he went pretty high. Normally he only goes about 6 or 7 feet, and this is probably 9-10 feet here almost, I don't know. Higher than normal. Oh shoot, I need my cant hook. Couple more and I think we'll be good. Come on. I think that's pretty tight and pretty good now. Yeah, because it's not going to go anywhere now. So I can cut a whole bunch more now. And so now I'll cut a bunch more, and we're staging it right where I got both stacking them up, so when we go to split, it's right there. But you can go a lot higher, just keep stacking it up, and it doesn't have to be pretty because we're just gonna split them, but we're gonna cut a bunch more, stack a bunch more. Let's get cutting.
Look what I have created.
You were a manly kind of man to create that pile of wood. That's pretty awesome.
Gonna heat a lot of homes.
Yeah, so we cut almost 2 tanks. I shut this off at the end because my chain was getting really loose there, but it was close to being the end. And we got another vertical wall here that it's starting to be pretty steep, and the whole pile is starting to shift. So let's take this log right here on that end, just let's see if we get the whole thing to go here. Just watch your face so it doesn't bounce back and slap you. And that's probably this one. And then probably this one. Well, I think probably up higher yet even. I think I get this one, it'll come down. Watch out. Run for your lives. You don't have 9 or 10 lives like your dad does.
No.
You got 1. Watch out for that one. Yeah, sometimes they start going sideways and they roll out on you. I want to get a couple more up here yet. Watch out for this one. This one. I don't know, can you...
Oh, it's pretty wedged in there.
There we go. That looks pretty good. It's wedged in there now. We got crisscrossy pieces up in there, so... Okay, we're gonna go eat some lunch. We'll be right back. So we just went and got some lunch and we're back. While we're at lunch, we got a we got a text that a guy wants a load of wood. So Bo Cephas is a chucking machine. He's loading her up right now. It's gonna be a load of oak. We're gonna deliver it in a little while. Do you feel like a machine? Because you look like a machine.
Full of Subway now.
full of Subway, there you go. So Bo loaded up the truck and that's done. We're gonna go deliver that later, but right now, because we feel sassy, we're gonna cut a couple more tanks of gas in the saws. I sharpened the 2 that I used up. I got 1 running here, and we're gonna assassinate this pile over the next couple days. So time to get cutting. There we cut 4 tanks all together. We're done cutting and now we're gonna roll the pile down here because it's getting pretty vertical. It's getting kind of sketchy. So just watch out so you don't get pinned in there. Watch out so you don't get pinned in there. come, they come fast. Gravity is not friendly.
There you go. This one in?
This one too. And then watch out this little one up here. I'm going to give this little one a shove. And then we'll just roll this one, the little one off. Yeah, it's nice having two guys. Otherwise I got to walk back and forth.
This one I can tell you, I can just push it forward.
Okay,
It's gonna
well,
give it-
watch your hand when that comes down though. Like that. There you go. That's good. And then probably this one, and this stuff should come then. I'm gonna shove it over here. Come on, baby. Take it. I know you want it. Come on. Got a slider. I hate those. Pretty much the peak right here, and then it goes down after this. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I was trying to get that one. I gotta get this one. You gotta watch is when they hit and they rock back up. I've got hit a couple times. You put your arm out and it whacks you.
Yeah.
I think that's good. That's pretty good, not a good slope. Woo! So there it is. We're gonna go deliver a load of wood, but you're not coming with us. That's it for today. No more. We're done cutting. Gonna go deliver a load of wood tomorrow. I think I either do stacking or cutting or something. I don't know. And you're coming back in a couple days, so
That's right.
we'll go to town. Hopefully this whole pile in about, what, 3-4 days should be gone.
2 days.
Little bitty pieces over there. That'd be nice. So that's it for today, folks. You know what to do. Poke the buttons, hit the like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Tomorrow, come on back. It'll be fun. Between now and then, get outside, get cutting. Hey, where are you going?
What? Oh, and good night, Irene.